I thought I would take a few minutes and just talk about neck angle and specifically the jig that I built to do it. And I've tried a number of different things, but there's guys out there much smarter than me, so it takes me a while to figure it out. But what I have now is working, and I'm going to stick with it. I've seen, you know, some doing the neck angle on the neck itself, and I tried that out. And just based on how I do stuff and the type of neck that I have, it just didn't work. But man, I sure appreciate the information guys out there provide. It's awesome. So I don't know if this works for you. I have an overhead router system, but before I had the overhead router, I made my own on a drill press, and I've got a video on that. I've got this old jet drill press, and basically mounted the router and was able to do some of this work. But I was gifted an overhead router, and man, it's been awesome. It saves so much time. It's scary, and maybe someday I'll get used to it. Maybe I probably shouldn't get used to it. But here goes. Here's what I've got. Looks a little funky. It's a piece of myrtle wood I had from a cutoff on a guitar that I built. This holds the body, which I'm going to grab. So I've already done this earlier. Run these guys up a little bit. This body's for a guitar I'm building right now. It's called the Yeshua Origin. So it doesn't have to be square or anything like that, because I use the overhead router with a, I believe it's a 3/8 by maybe 1/2 inch deep bit, somewhere in that range, but I'm almost certain it's 3/8. So we got that locked in here, and this right here, I'm gonna pop these off real quick. Don't you love these knobs? You can buy them, grab a couple bolts, and you're good. So this is on a piano hinge on the back, piece of 1/2 inch, 3/4 inch MDF on the top, and I would have used 3/4 for the bottom, but all I had was 1/2 inch, so that's what I used. Looking at it from the front, looks like that. So now what we have is this action. So you can go up and down. These bolts come through, and when I have there's a washer and 2 nuts. So the second nut is used for adjustment if I need to, but at the moment it's just locking it down, and these washers are enough to do what I need to do, and I can adjust, just pull out a washer or add a washer to get whatever neck angle I need. On this one, I ended up at like 0.6, something like that, 0.7. Right now it's set up with those washers, and it's about 1.3. And but for the bridge I'm using, what I did was enough. Depends on the bridge that you use. You can adjust it however you need to adjust it. So once you get that, I'm gonna grab something real quick. I just bought one of these Wixie digital angle gauges, and you zero it out. So I zero it out in this instance on this base plate, zero it out, and then basically put it up here. So right now I have 1.3. If I wanted less, simply pick it up, pop a washer or 2 off, or if you need more, add a couple washers and bring it up. Like right there is about 4 degrees, 3 degrees right there. For what I'm doing, it's too much. So also these handles come in Super handy because you don't want your hands anywhere near that bit that's flying at 20,000 RPM. So with this goes a template. And my son has a laser, so I had him fabricate not only, let me grab this piece. I had him fabricate my neck blank template. That fits perfectly. Actually, my neck pocket is a little tighter. I added some tape to it just to adjust it a little bit, but these two basically fit perfectly. I cut this a little bit smaller and then tweak the neck as I need to fit. So this, I didn't put it in there, but this goes on with that, and then the bearing bit runs along here. Now, I've tried on a pin router, you typically put the template underneath. I had some challenges with that, and maybe I'll get back to that one of these days, but I don't know. Didn't quite work for me, so I stopped. I didn't want to run something. So, excuse me. Again, the handles, these are great. Keep yourself safe, and it takes just a few minutes to run these, and I don't go very deep. I take less than an eighth each pass. I just don't want, I've had too many problems with routers in my life. I think really the pin router, overhead router is probably much safer than a regular. I have a 3.5 horse router, and I tell you, sometimes it just kicks on me and it just ticks me off, scares the heck out of me. So that pin router, it moves so fast that I don't think it has a chance. I'm not going to give it a chance. I'm not going to try to take too much. So as I learned from somebody actually on YouTube, anytime you run with a pin router, be absolutely engaged in what you're doing. There's been times I've found myself drifting off a little bit, and I just shut it down, walk away, and come back when I can get my head together. So that was good advice, and I suggest that for everybody else too. If you have any questions, give me a shout. Let me know in the comments, and I'll do what I can to help you out. This works for me. Obviously, it doesn't mean it's going to work for everybody, but just based on your situation, if it helps out, awesome. If not, no worries. Aloha.